Rapper Jay-Z raised some eyebrows by partnering with the NFL to help the league expand its social justice initiatives. This comes after he criticized the NFL over the treatment of Colin Kaepernick. So what does Jay-Z hope to achieve? Is the NFL using him to win back entertainers who boycotted the league? My next guest is community activist and award-winning music artist who has some interesting thoughts on the Jay-Z NFL partnership. He coined the concept entertainment justice to describe how music and the arts can be used to promote social justice and preserve cultural history. I'd like to welcome Bryce Anderson, also known as Bryce Detroit, to American Black Journal. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Stephen.
Yeah. So let's start with Jay-Z and the NFL. I've got a lot of thoughts about that too. I think a lot of people have and have expressed it on social media and other places. He's gotten a lot of criticism for this move. What's your take on what he's doing here?
We'll start here. There are a number of professional entertainers, cultural advocates and activists who have been in the space of social justice, environmental justice, climate justice for decades.
Forever, right. Yeah.
Now, being on the front lines of this work and so many of the issues, one of our primary approaches is you start with the people who are most impacted by the issues that you're even uplifting. Mm-hmm. So from the approach side, one can look at and question what is the goal in first going to a corporation versus going to the people who are most impacted by the issues you're looking to even raise.
Sure.
And really finding out what are the things that most affect them, what are the perspectives and the analysis that's already been done, mm-hmm. and what way can you use your platform to support what's already happening.
Yeah, and that's been what the criticism has been about, that this looks as though, he's making a deal that doesn't include the people who are most impacted. Now he says this will make a difference in the way that African Americans are treated by the league. It'll make a difference in opportunity. Do you believe that?
See, for me, there's this thing where our brothers and sisters of African ancestry who are in the NFL, there are issues that directly affect them. To me, those are issues around labor more than anything.
Right.
Yet, when we look at what brought Colin Kaepernick into the national spotlight, it was him gesturally protesting issues that are affecting folks not in the NFL.
Other people, that's right.
Other people.
Yeah.
So in that way, then one can question, what do you think you can accomplish?
If you're Jay-Z.
If you're Jay-Z, what can you accomplish by going to a corporation and doing something which could amount simply to corporate responsibility,
right?
Versus actually going to the populations that are impacted by the issue that initially
police
brought
violence,
all this.
Right?
Period. It's
right.
Police violence. It's police brutality that even started this entire conversation. So in what way does creating a corporate partnership support bringing more light that will eventually affect policy around police violence?
Yeah. So as an entertainer yourself, answer that question. What would you do if you were Jay-Z or any other entertainer? What would be a more constructive way that would affect the police violence issue to get involved?
So one thing for me is, as an entertainer, is first acknowledging that our magic, so to speak, our skill sets lie in the ability to influence identity and behavior. Mm-hmm. So from there, acknowledging that our greatest impact is with our audiences. So in what way can we inspire and influence the way our audiences are maybe thinking about the issues? What way are our audiences actually holding and participating in the resolution or the activism around these issues? But these are real questions that first you have to start with asking yourself. So it's less about what would you do immediately that can create some major impact. and it's more so what is necessary internally for an entertainer to do, acknowledging their platform, acknowledging their reach, acknowledging their audience. What can I do to really provoke a conversation that can impact,
that can move the conversation in this space?
Yeah.
I've seen Jay-Z talk about police violence. I've seen Jay-Z talk about inequality in other forums. Is there anything wrong then with trying to get at it from both ends, right? Does the things that he's doing with the NFL, does that negate the kind of things that he said in his music, on other platforms about the African American condition?
Negate, no. But if we reference the way that Jay-Z presents to move as an entrepreneur, he is very skilled at putting together teams of experts to help him advance and move forward capitalist endeavors.
He's very skilled at that.
He's very skilled at that.
And maybe more skilled than anyone else, really.
At the same time, though, we can acknowledge that there are subject matter experts who exist at the front lines of these issues and live in the neighborhoods and in the communities. These folks have been innovating the analysis and bringing these really synthesized frameworks forward that are allowing much more nuance and actually are moving the needle on policy. So what is the way that you can take your entrepreneurial framework, which is to put together an expert team to help me achieve some things? How can you reference that? And then on this side, ask yourself, what team of experts need I be consulting with to actually move this agenda forward, acknowledging that you don't have all the answers, the same way you acknowledge you don't have all the ideas and answers on a capitalist endeavor.
Right. You know, the separation of the issues here is, I think, one of the problems, right? Which problem does he want to focus on in this arena? And I suppose if he does get, you know, better treatment and better contracts for black players, that's progress of its own. It still does leave, you know, aside this question of, can you leverage your fame to move this other issue?
For me, it would be a question, is that really progress if this entire conversation started with wanting to address police brutality?
Right. That's what Colin Kaepernick was talking about. He was not trying to get a better contract.
At all.
Right.
So for me, it's constructive for us as those on the outside of this to really hold it in a new way, holding the fact that this conversation is about police brutality and what is the way to bring more relevant attention to help move the needle on this issue and not lose sight of that.
Right.
Let's not lose focus. That's really the point here. One person or even two people, because Colin Kaepernick supposedly has a very lucrative settlement with the NFL and a deal with Nike. Right. So two people being able to leverage this opportunity for their own economic, financial empowerment does not move the needle on policies.
For everybody else.
Period.
Yeah. All right. Thanks very much for being here. Great insights. Yeah.
Appreciate it.